with Big Mo. Oh, man.
Christopher, you ready?
Are you going to keep boxing? Yeah. You really love this shit, huh?
Jake Paul's meltdown didn't start after the final bell. It started the exact second Anthony Joshua shattered the illusion, and not with trash talk, not with hype, but with a brutal, undeniable reality check that erased years of marketing in a single moment. Logan Paul watched his brother get dismantled in that ring. You could see it happening in real time. The tension didn't simmer, it boiled. What followed was somehow even uglier than the knockout itself. This wasn't just a loss, this was a public unraveling. A family explosion that played out under the brightest lights in combat sports. No spin, no edits, no hiding. The cameras caught everything. And what they exposed wasn't just a bad night. They exposed the cracks in the entire Paul brothers empire right there in front of the world.
Incredible!
Jake Paul being measured up by Joshua for that right hand. Gets clipped.
This fight was sold as a turning point, a bold, dangerous, history-making gamble that was supposed to change modern boxing forever. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua wasn't just a matchup, it was marketed as a statement. The kind of high-stakes leap that would finally silence critics and cement Jake as legitimate once and for all. But the second that opening bell rang, everything changed. What was supposed to be a gamble instantly became something else entirely, a brutal, unavoidable reality check that nobody in Jake's camp was ready for. And here's what makes it even worse, everyone underestimated how badly this would spiral. Not just for Jake in the ring, but for Logan watching helplessly from the sidelines. Because what unfolded in front of millions of viewers wasn't just a knockout loss you shake off and move past. It was a full public collapse. Hype, ego, family pride. All three pillars fell at the same time, live, unfiltered, and in front of a global audience that was already waiting for the moment everything went wrong.
Then he broke my brother's jaw. Fuck this guy. Broke his jaw, huh? Yeah, oh, he's flushed his jaw. Yeah. He don't care though. Jake's having a fucking...
Here's what most people don't realize: the real disaster didn't start under those bright lights. It started weeks earlier. Long before the walkouts. Long before the bell rang. Long before Jake ever took that first punch. It started with Logan Paul acting like the outcome was already written. From ringside appearances to non-stop social media clips flooding everyone's feeds, Logan pushed the same message again and again: Anthony Joshua was washed, overrated, past his prime, and absolutely beatable by Jake Paul. He didn't just predict a win, he spoke like it was a formality. Like the fight was already over before it even began. At one point, he even claimed Joshua was already losing rounds before the bout had even happened, which, when you really think about it, is insane. The phrase legacy ender got thrown around constantly, not as a possibility, but as a warning. Like something they were promising, not predicting. And here's the part that changed everything. Logan wasn't just hyping his brother. He was tying his own reputation to this fight, his brand, his credibility. This stopped being brotherly support. This became pure ego on the line, and everyone could see it.
It was largely because he was mostly running away from AJ rather than standing toe-to-toe with him to fight. It's the difference between fighting a Bengal tiger and running away from a Bengal.
Here's what most people don't realize: the real disaster didn't start under those bright lights. It started weeks earlier. Long before the walkouts. Long before the bell rang. Long before Jake ever took that first punch. It started with Logan Paul acting like the outcome was already written. From ringside appearances to non-stop social media clips flooding everyone's feeds, Logan pushed the same message again and again: Anthony Joshua was washed, overrated, past his prime, and absolutely beatable by Jake Paul. He didn't just predict a win, he spoke like it was a formality. Like the fight was already over before it even began. At one point, he even claimed Joshua was already losing rounds before the bout had even happened, which, when you really think about it, is insane. The phrase legacy ender got thrown around constantly, not as a possibility, but as a warning. Like something they were promising, not predicting. And here's the part that changed everything: Logan wasn't just hyping his brother. He was tying his own reputation to this fight, his brand, his credibility. This stopped being brotherly support. This became pure ego on the line, and everyone could see it.
He realized fighting AJ was not going to work for him. He naturally began incorporating even more flight, running away, and freezing, falling to the ground at any chance he had just to survive the rounds.
I mean, all it's doing is buying Jake Paul more time. I don't like it at all.
Do you remember what Mike Tyson famously said? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Anthony Joshua's gigantic. He's so big. He's so much bigger. So, of course, like, his punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it.
Yeah.
Because he's a giant.
Yeah.
He's a fucking...
The moment the bell rang, the truth was impossible to ignore. The skill gap showed itself immediately. Anthony Joshua didn't rush in. He didn't try to make a statement. He didn't panic or force the action. He simply waited calm, patient, and in total control, like a man who has lived his entire career at championship level. Jake Paul, on the other hand, looked tense from the very first exchange. His movements were stiff. His timing was off. The comfort and confidence he carried into the arena faded almost instantly by the later rounds. This wasn't about strategy anymore, it was about survival. About just trying to make it to the final bell. Then everything collapsed. Joshua dropped him twice in the 5th round, real knockdowns. Not slips. Not balance checks. The kind that drain your legs and shake your belief. And in the 6th round, he did it 2 more times. 4 knockdowns in just 2 rounds, T131 of round 6. It was over. Knockout, no controversy, no excuses. Just silence filling the space where all that hype used to be.
I'm so proud of him. My mom has it.
And the numbers that came out afterward somehow made it even worse. Jake Paul landed just 16 punches the entire fight. 16 out of 56 total attempts. Let that sink in. That's not having a bad night. That's not just getting caught. That's what being completely outclassed looks like when you step into a ring with someone operating on a totally different level. And the damage wasn't just to his reputation. Jake walked away with a double broken jaw and had to undergo immediate surgery after the fight. This wasn't a competitive bout that slipped away in the late rounds. This was a mismatch, one that ended exactly the way seasoned boxing professionals warned it would from the very beginning. And that's when the cameras cut to Logan.
Taking that right hand, it only took one.
I'm just so proud of him. That was incredible. In my view, that was a victory.
As Jake was physically carried out of the ring by his team and medical staff, Logan completely lost control in front of everyone. The confidence he'd been radiating for weeks didn't fade, it vanished. Gone in an instant. The bravado, the trash talk, the swagger, all of it collapsed like a house of cards. The commentators noticed it immediately and started calling it out on the broadcast. And this wasn't just normal concern for an injured brother. What you could see on Logan's face was a mix of anger, embarrassment, and real panic all hitting at once. He wasn't just shaken, he was furious. But here's the part that said everything. That anger wasn't directed at Anthony Joshua, it was aimed at Jake. And that raw, unfiltered moment caught on camera, Logan didn't look like a worried brother. He looked like someone who had just realized that his entire public image, the brand, the credibility, the empire they built had taken a massive, irreversible hit. The look on his face said it all. This wasn't fear about what just happened, it was terror about what comes next.
YouTuber who's fought Tommy Fury, who's a legit boxer, and, you know, a couple other guys that were legit boxers. That's it. Like everyone else he's fought Ben Askren, who's really a wrestler. You know, he fought Tyron Woodley, who was an elite MMA fighter, but, you know, not an elite. The timing in that right hand, just spectacular.
That's stepping in as well.
Over the top. I mean, that was a full force shot to the temple. I mean, he's fucks